Okay, people. So we've got a oh bit of a rough film next. It's called The Girl in the Backseat, which I'm not sure the title creates the image of what this film is. Because yo, okay, it's directed by Nick Laurent. The story was by Kika Magalhães and Chris Marrone wrote the script. We've got Nick Laurent, Michael David Lynch, Chris Moran, Anta Novakovic, and Rob Simmons producing. Uh, Guilia Prenna, Kika Magalhães, and Louise Holt. They executive produce, um, along with C.K. Sussman and Kerry Rhodes co-producers. Navid Hijizi and Ramin Kosha handle the music. Michael Pescasio is on cinematography. Tiki Cruikshank edits the piece. Kate Oja is on makeup. And our cast. Well, Sofia is played by Kiki Magalhães. Ryan is played by Chris Marrone. Bella is played by Jasmine Aka- Akapo. Mum is played by Helen Day. Berg is played by Travis Quinton. Um, Nate is played by Brett Driver. Sarge played by Frank Forbes. The sheriff is played by Matt Cadler. The Dr. T is played by Kerry Rhodes. Anna Lopes is Zana. Rose is Kim Ellis. Yeah, that's our main lot of people. Oh, and the pharmacist is played by Brian Foister. Now, the gist of this is it's inspired by true events. A young immigrant, Sofia, fights for her survival against her predator, Ryan, in an involuntary road trip through the vast and mysterious landscape of a worldwide human trafficking ring. So that's what I mean, right? You hear go on the back seat, you don't think human trafficking. No. Like you think maybe in a manipulative like relationship, but not human trafficking people. So yeah, because it opens up and you've got a girl struggling and screaming, right? She's bound, and then a guy opens a boot and we see her like clearly. Then, right, we jump to this same girl getting ready, right? Getting ready, talking to a friend, and she's putting on this watch saying that this guy she's talking to sent it to her, right? Which it's weird, right? The watch is weird, and it just makes you think of so many fucking off-key things, right? But she goes on this date, and that's when everything spins out of control. Everything spins out of control, which you're just like, oh my gosh, right? It's just, yeah, it's crazy. Now, when you are watching that beginning part, the date and everything like that, there are so many red flags, right? You do go, why would she do this stuff, right? What the fuck is going on? Who in their right mind is doing that, right? But I don't know, man. People do the craziest things, you know? People do the craziest things. But from there, that's when we're where the film started, essentially. And so we're seeing all of these things, and you're wondering, right, where does this go? Right? What are we doing here? And I think it's interesting because I think there's been a whole heap of films that kind of deal with this matter in some way. Not all of them show an infrastructure, right? People get kidnapped and, oh, it's for an auction or something, but they don't really show the greater scale of it all, right? Because you have to have police in your pocket, you've got to have doctors and just all these different things. There was a couple of films in 2021. It was like I'm All Girls. I think that's a Netflix joint. And the one that was so crazy was a Polish film, right? I think the director was Patrick Vega, and it was called Small World, and it was horrific. It was a really good. When I say horrific, it's not as a bad film. It was a really well put together film, and it dealt with this matter in a way that was so raw, right? Showing things we've never seen before. And that was great. That was great. But it was one of those films that I do not want to watch this again. Right. I'm one and done on this shit. So I thought it was interesting the fact that we, saw that there was this system. There was this twisted organization. And you also, it's that thing, hurt people, right? So we learned a little about Ryan on the way. And it's obvious, right? Not necessarily willfully signing up for the gig, but you have to ask yourself, people have free will, right? You can go, no more. I'm not doing this, right? But yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky because it's all about manipulation, and we see that on this journey. We see the manipulation real well. And the girl that plays Bella, boy, Jasmine Akapo does a fantastic job, because there's this naivete, this vulnerability, right? But this will to survive, and we're jumping through all of these different emotions, and it's crazy because you kind of write her off at the start, right? Who's this crazy chick, but then you see what's going on, like how this situation has affected her and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, she kills it. And just all the cast do a really good job, because as I said, there's some gray areas here, some real gray now, some foul people, definitely foul people, but it's not as clear cut as we often see, right? And that's where it gets really interesting. I think the way this all concludes, it's good, right? You wonder, because inspired by true events doesn't mean this is true events verbatim. Right? That often means, well, we heard about something and then we added this, and this. So it would be interesting to know what was added, right? How much of this was what actually happened, right? What was embellished, what was left out. That'd be interesting. Because yeah, I think there's leaps of faith that you have to take, but you are very, of course, people, you're very much with Sofia on this journey. There is there's quite a bit of subtitles in the film. I mean, quite a bit. I mean, not 50-50, but you kind of feel that they could be pivotal, but there's no background behind it. So we got these white subtitles on white backgrounds. It's a problem, right? That's a frigging problem. That is the most irritating thing about this fic, right? That part of it. Everything else, it was done really well, but it was just those damn subtitles. God damn it. But yes, now this is making its world premiere at Dances with Films. It will be playing on Saturday, the 1st of July at the TCL Chinese Theatre at 5 p.m. Right? So, yes, the ticket link, all of that will be on the website, people. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's you don't go in, right? If this kind of subject is an issue for you, right? Because we see it's not graphic. You know what I mean? It's not graphic, and there's certain scenes where you don't actually see something happening. Like there's one really great scene, and we don't see what happens, but then when we cut back to Sophia, there's a tear going down the face, so you know exactly what happened, right? And I thought, oh, that was a nice way of showing that without showing anything, you know. So it's not graphic in what we necessarily see, but it's not shying away from the things that happen to these girls, right? And boys too, which that is definitely hinted at as well. So yeah, be warned going in, but it is a well put together story and something that I think people should just be aware of what happens, especially girls, right? You need to be careful going out on dates, right? Be fucking careful, people. But yes, the girl in the backseat, 1st of July, 5 p.m. Dances with Films, people.